time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying.
A new video is going viral in which an unconfirmed truck driver who allegedly used to work for Diddy is exposing some dark truth. Now, before I get into it, I want to make sure that this is all alleged, only because this so-called truck driver has not given any proof. According to this story circulating online, this driver was promised a cool meal for 2 rides, half of that cash in hand before even hitting the road, and the rest once the job's done. This gig, hauling some super secretive cargo allegedly to Diddy's pad, rumored to be tucked close to a shipping container spot. When they rolled up to Diddy's Detroit mansion, this man spilled that he and his colleague saw the crew unloading these locked up, heavily guarded containers. And man, it didn't take much to think the worst, like human cargo level worst.
Letting the familiar sound of classic rock filled the cab. My partner sat beside me, staring out the window or occasionally glancing at the map. But as the night wore on, I started to hear something, faint at first, almost like a whisper. It was a muffled sound, coming from the trailer behind us. At first I thought it might just be the cargo shifting, but the longer I listened, the less it sounded like something natural. It was rhythmic, almost like a knock, and it sent a chill down my spine. When we stopped to switch drivers, I mentioned the sound to my partner. He nodded, his expression grim, and admitted he'd heard it too, but he brushed it off, saying it was probably nothing. "We're in the middle of nowhere," he said. "Sounds like that aren't unusual out here." His words didn't comfort me, but I decided to let it go. I grabbed a quick meal, climbed into the back of the cab, and tried to get some sleep.
Now, this is just a story circulating online and going viral without any actual evidence to back it up. But if it's true, it lines up with everything we have heard from all the Diddy lawsuits. Tanea Wallace, an aspiring singer-songwriter who claims her journey into Diddy's satanic world started with an invitation from a Saudi prince. According to her, she was flown from Los Angeles to Miami under the impression that this was a glamorous networking opportunity. But as she later revealed, things took a dark turn once she stepped into Diddy's so-called freak-off party.
And we were meeting so many girls, and girls from Love and Hip Hop was coming in the house, and celebrities was there, and all of this stuff. But it started to get real weird, you know. It was a lot of drugs, and like, I don't do hard like that. Like, I was smoking weed, you know.
Wallace shared vivid details about what she witnessed. The party reportedly went on all night, ending at 7 a.m. with people engaging in satanic acts while seemingly under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Tanea also mentioned seeing little people, if you know what I mean, dressed up like Harajuku Barbies, complete with red lipstick and outfits designed to make them look older. Another victim, Allie Carter's been dropping some bombshell claims against Sean Diddy Combs, painting a picture that's dark and disturbing. According to what she's been sharing, these weren't your regular wild Hollywood parties. These were what she describes as satanic ritual orgies, where things took a grim turn. They weren't freak-offs, they were satanic ritual orgies. Get it right, it wasn't just adults in these parties. She claims she was one of the victims, caught up in a nightmare right in the middle of all that chaos. Carter alleges that as a kid, she was transferred and thrown into these scenes at parties thrown by Diddy, where the elite of the entertainment world supposedly gathered.
If there's a round of kids, it's the trafficker. P. Diddy gets a round of kids. Let's say that round of kids had Justin Bieber in it. There's contracts, okay? There's contracts for codes within that person.
And here's where it twists even further. According to a post on X, Carter's calling out not just Diddy, but hinting at a bigger circle. She's talking big names like Oprah and Denzel Washington, saying they might have known what was up at these so-called parties.
The first time I met Oprah, I was 15 years old. I was taken by my to a house in Simi Valley. I didn't have to do anything with her. I met her. She said a few words to me. She kissed me. She gave me an e-pill.
Kissed you how?
Tongue kiss.
A tongue kiss? And she gave you an E pill. What is E?
Ecstasy.
Okay.
On top of all that, Carter's throwing some serious shade at CPS, claiming they played a part in the whole twisted setup, feeding runaways into this sick system instead of doing their job to protect them. She's also fired up about how everyone's focusing too much on the big names while ignoring the little people caught in the crossfire. She's out here saying people think they can break into this industry and make it big, but they don't know what happens behind the scenes. Diddy's influence goes beyond the music. It's about controlling people's lives. Attorney Tony Busby just slammed Diddy with 5 fresh lawsuits. This dude's repping over 120 folks claiming Diddy did them dirty in all kinds of messed up ways.
After fighting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
The matter is so deep, they got a squad of legal eagles, including AVA Law Group and some New York sharks from Curious Law, rolling out these lawsuits against him. They hit up Instagram to let the world know they're not playing games. Busby went as far as talking big about also tearing down the curtains to expose all the hidden dirt. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates.
5 new lawsuits include 3 men who say they were and sodomized, 2 women who say they were assaulted at the ages of 17 and 18.
And there's this one cat who's talking about a Miami after party gone wrong. Says there he was chilling with Diddy and the crew when he got handed a spiked drink. Next thing he knows, he's coming to and Diddy's there trying to make moves while he's out of it, talking all kinds of nasty. But hold up, it ain't just him. There's a lady who was still counting down her teen years when she says Diddy laced her and took advantage of her at one of those all-white parties, and she ain't the only one speaking up. As if that ain't enough, there's a victim, a young woman who met Diddy at a Halloween bash in NYC when she was just 18 and then was transferred over lines. The night took a dark turn when she was led into a black SUV limo with Diddy and his security squad already inside. Inside that ride, she claims she was laced and forced into some real messed up stuff, having to perform while the crew watched. Diddy wasn't just content with that. He allegedly had her go around the car at his command. But yo, that's just the tip. Diddy's sitting in the middle of a storm, nearly 24 other lawsuits piling up against him. Busby's been out here saying some of Diddy's victims were even little people, if you know what I mean.
As we speak here, there are a myriad of people who are very nervous. You can't hide skeletons in the closet forever. I would expect there are many people out there right now.
The word is Diddy lured these folks with big promises of fame and fortune, got them coming to his place thinking they were gonna get a shot at stardom, but ended up in a nightmare instead. Now, Busby says his team's locked and loaded with all sorts of evidence, pics, vids, texts, you name it, that he claims will blow the lid off entire Hollywood.
For each, we ask for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues, we check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit.
But Diddy's clapping back hard. He totally denies all that noise and is banking on proving his clean slate in court. According to what his attorney spilled to Forbes in October, Diddy and his legal eagles are all in, betting that the courts will show he's clean. Mr. Combs has never essayed anyone, adult or man or woman. But here's where it gets even messier. As Busby's firing off lawsuits left and right, trying to pin down so-called victims of Diddy, he's caught some heat himself. Yeah, he's now on the receiving end of a lawsuit, claiming he's all about that extortion game. One person sued Busby, claiming the lawyer tried to shake him down with some bogus claims about stuff that supposedly went down at Diddy's blowouts.
An anonymous, a John Doe, Los Angeles quote-unquote celebrity who is suing Tony Busby for civil extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress, saying that he's bringing these claims for the purpose of extorting large sums of money and that the claims are false and frivolous.
Right now, though, all these claims are just that, claims. Ain't nothing been proven in court yet, and Diddy's lawyers are on the defensive, slamming everything as baseless and calling it a smear campaign. No charges have been thrown down yet, and the whole mess is still under the microscope, trying to figure out what's what. It's a complex gridlock of fame, power, and allegations that's got everyone watching closely. With the stakes so high and such powerful names in the mix, you bet this story is going to keep unraveling. Everyone's holding their breath, waiting to see whose version of the truth is going to take the spotlight. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This story is just getting started, and you won't want to miss the next jaw-dropping update.